Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from North Judson St. Pierre High School as the Region Sports Network presents live video coverage of the Indiana High School Boys Basketball Tournament as the Marquette Catholic Blazers take on the Triton Trojans in the Class 1A Regional. I'm Andrew Mild, and I have the play-by-play for tonight's action. And joining me with the color analysis is Michael Bradner. Good evening, Mike.
Andrew, it is great to be with you yet again for some hoops. I tell you what, if you are a hoops fan, this is your glory weekend. You've got championship games in college basketball. You've got regionals tonight in boys, so you can take a little step back from the college action as well. But man, I mean, we started stuff last night. There's, college stuff yesterday. There's college stuff today. Regionals tonight. There's gymnastics down in state this as well. Go Lake Central, and then you got more basketball tomorrow. Semi-state pairing show tomorrow. We're going to find out all the winners tonight, where they're going to go next week. This is glory time. Hoosier hysteria in full swing in the greatest state, Indiana.
You want to talk about some Hoosier hysteria. You're looking at the team, the Marquette Catholic Blazers, that was running into a powerhouse, a juggernaut, if you will, of the Hebron, who was at that point, Couts, who was 25-0, and Marquette Catholic, facing the number one team in the 1A class, defeated them in a 59-57 game. Brander, the Marquette Catholic Blazers are coming into this game as underdogs against the number 4 Triton Trojans, but they don't feel like that they are.
Hey, when you are playing with house money, when you're going up against a team that everyone says you're going to lose to and you get the win, that builds up your momentum so much. And then you come into a game like this saying, hey, you're probably still not going to win. They were here 10 years ago, right? I was here to cover that game when they came up against Bishop Knoll. What a game that was 10 years ago. That's not the last time I was in this building, but probably the last time I saw Marquette Catholic in this gym. When you're told you probably don't have the chance to win the game, that just feeds you even more. It makes you more determined to prove to people and say, nah, we got this.
And this team has several good players, but it was Josiah Mays who was a hero of that upset. He scored 24 points against Couts, and he also had the assist that gave them the lead by dropping it off to Andrew Pleasant. They're going to need him to step up, and also Von Ray Kelt, who only scored 2 points when he averages 16 on the year.
When you talk about that Couts game again, when they faced each other back in December, it was a 58-39 loss to Couts. Then they come back and win 2 games. Last week we saw that kind of momentum, right? But if you're going to have guys that step up, you're going to remember, okay, this is what we faced last time. This is what I need to do differently, and this is where my mentality is going to change. So the guys that are going to step up are the guys that are like scoring in big digits, but who's going to be the next guy? Because trust me, Triton has paid attention to who's scoring the most and who's making the biggest differences. Who's the next guy that's going to step up? We're going to find out tonight who that maybe number 3, 4 guy are that's going to step up and maybe have a career night that could send Marquette Catholic to a semi-state game.
Coming over from Bourbon, Indiana, the Triton Trojans defense has been absolutely incredible this year, holding opposing teams to just 38 points on the year. And in sectionals, no one even touched them. They blew out Trinity Academy by 25, Argos by 24, and in their sectional championship game to win their second in a row and their 15th all-time, they beat South Central by 32. So, Brandon, it's a really good point to say Marquette Catholic's got to figure out how to beat this Triton defense.
Yeah, I mean, Marquette Catholic averages about 64 points a game, so you know they can score. But Triton also realizes that their defense is what's going to keep them in the game because they average 56 points a game. So what's going to step up? Are they going to be able to hold the offense that is Marquette Catholic, scoring over 60 points a game? But at the same time, they know who they need to lock in on. who's going to be that next one to step up? Who's going to get themselves in double digits tonight that's going to be able to get to that 64 mark that they're looking to get to?
We get into the final seconds before the national anthem and then starting lineups. We have a doubleheader for you here on the Region Sports Network, Marquette Catholic and Triton. And then later on, we will see the Westview Warriors and the Gary 21st Century Cougars. We'll step aside for this national anthem. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
The game night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast, it is a brisk 42 degrees, feels like 31 with 10-mile-per-hour winds. Of course, not as gusty as it was yesterday. Hopefully everyone held on to their hats. That's a Saturday night forecast brought to you by Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Keep you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter.
And we'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business, absolutely.
Andrew Maya with Michael Bradner here on the Regent Sports Network. As we're about to hear the starting lineup for the Marquette Catholic Blazers, a team that no one thought would be here as they went up against Counts, as we talked about, but they were able to upset them, and they're coming in riding high, winning 17 of their last 19. And Michael, this is after they started the season 3-5. They had a players-only meeting, and after that, Marquette Catholic has been unbeatable.
Well, that's the kind of mentality. You know, you say, okay, what are we doing wrong? Let's get our heads right. Let's fix things up here. But I'll tell you what, for Marquette Catholic, one reason why they're here, well, they got the blessings of the Pope. The Pope is across the way and ready to cheer on the Marquette Catholic Blazers.
Their starting lineup will go as this: Vaughn Rail-Klett, Alex Pekoski, Josiah Mays, Andrew Pleasant, and Nate Pakoda. And they are coached by Ray Tarnell, who's now won 3 sectional titles in the last 6 years. They won the regional title back in 2024. They go up against this Triton team. Their starting lineup: Landon Patrick, Julian Swanson, Jaden Overmeyer, Gage Riffle, and Brady Wood. And looking at this team, Brandner, Julian Swanson has had himself a great year, averaging 12 points, 1.5 steals. He had 18 points against Bremen, a player that the Marquette Catholic team has to watch out for.
Yeah, so we talked about who's going to be that one to step up for Marquette Catholic. Well, Marquette Catholic knows who the stars are on this Triton team, so they're going to lock down on those guys. So who's going to step up for Triton as well? But yeah, I mean, if you can limit those guys, that's where you want to limit. You want to win championships, you limit the star players from those teams. Can you do it, though, is the question. You're going to certainly try. And you might have to mix things up. This is the thing, too. Like they always say, you know, do what got you here. But you might have to mix some things up a little bit. Might try something new in practice a little bit. Maybe you go with a different type of defense for a little bit. See how it works. If it's not working, go back to your bread and butter. Because if you can throw something else different out there, that's going to throw the other team out of whack.
What's interesting about watching the 1A schools play is typically they don't go too deep into their bench. Usually 2 players, and that's about it. So it's also going to be a battle of who's the most conditioned going into this game.
Well, yeah, because you start getting to points where, and we've seen this with some of the schools that we cover here on the Region Sports Network. I don't care what sport you're talking about. It's usually the same kids over and over. But by the time you get to the second half, they're sitting on the bench so other kids get a chance to play because a lot of teams will blow each other out. That's not happening at this level nearly as much. No. And so these guys are going to be playing most of the game.
A beautiful setting. Fans are piling in for this first game of a doubleheader from North Judson St. Pierre High School. Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports as we are always active on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and at our website at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we are proud to still be the only game in town. Landon Patrick, also a player to look out for this Triton team. He averages 3.4 steals, but he broke the single-season record at Triton for most steals in a season.
And standing at just 5'11", you're thinking probably doesn't have that kind of wingspan to be able to get those kind of steals, but he's using every inch of that 5'11" frame to get in those passing lanes. So some guys are just blessed with being able to read the game a little bit differently, right? They're seeing a step or two ahead. Those are the guys that make the best coaches. So if they can be an extra coach on the floor, that's a huge momentum swing. I'm ready, partner. You ready?
I am definitely ready. The Regional 26 Championship on the line and a trip to semi-state. As we get ready for the opening tip, jumping for Triton will be Jaden Overmeyer. And for Marquette Catholic, Nate Bakota, the heart and soul of the Blazers.
And he's wearing pink shoes.
The tip is bounced into the waiting arms of Josiah Mays, the hero in the upset against Couts.
Starting with a little, kind of a mix of man-to-man, a little zone here. But they're staying in man, but keeping that help defense intense, and now we're going to have a traveling call.
Clutt went to go pass it and slipped. Can't have too many turnovers like that against this Triton team. We already talked about it in the pregame show. Their defense, one of the best in the state in the 1A division.
We're looking like a little box-in-one. Might turn into a man-in-man here on the other side for Marquette Catholic. It does break into that man-to-man, but certainly helping out on that help defense. Guys are staying where they need to, making sure they're intercepting any open lanes and helping each other out.
Triton taking their time, sending it around into the corner. That's Gage Riffle. Riffle to Swanson. Lean scorer. Defender falls over from downtown, and Swanson hits it off the back iron. Rebound by Pekoski.
Well, it's going to look like a bad possession just because of the fact that he fell down, but not a terrible move there for Mays because the offensive player picked up his dribble and then fell over. It made the guy fall over, but then he dared him to shoot from that spot.
Miscommunication and a nice up and under. Gage Riffle with an amazing awareness. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Blazers. One on a travel and once to Rail Clutt, where the ball bounced off of his hands and into the waiting arms of Landon Patrick.
So we know this team is not afraid to, take things a little bit slower, talk about things.
Back out. Here's a 3. Too much on it. Loose ball. Mays runs it down into the corner. He goes baseline around his defender, goes up with the left hand, leaves it short. Battle for the ball. Won by Marquette Catholic, and a foul will be called down low on Brady Wood.
Listen to all those youngsters that are in the post position and fighting for rebounds. When you get that rebound, go straight up with it because odds are you're going to get fouled on the way. Yes, officials may not bail you out sometimes, but at least make the effort. Make them make that call.
Dakota will go to the line, a 71% free throw shooter. And the first one is off. When you get these opportunities, go to the free throw line. You got to convert them.
I did not see who they went with the foul on that one, and they didn't post it on the board either. So we'll figure that out as the game goes on.
Going 1 for 2 is Bakota, the senior small forward, trying to send his team to a semi-state game next week.
But sometimes once you see that ball go through the net, it helps you out. Start building some momentum on your side.
Swanson going into the paint, losing it, and it was last off of a Marquette Catholic defender. Some good help defense by Andrew Pleasant to help out Mays.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you had said it. It was Landon Patrick that got that foul, by the way.
Landon Patrick. Into the post, and going up strong is Jaden Overmeyer. Strong kid, also plays for the football team at Triton.
Yeah, he's got that frame of a football player, no question. But definitely playing in those good help defense positions here. He's playing right in the middle of the lane, so if anybody tries to drive, he's the first one there to try to stop, like that situation right there.
Pleasant had the big shot against Counts last week. Mays, the one that found him on the block wide open. Mays losing his footing, and a good recovery by Pekoski. Pekoski's floater too long.
That's why normally when you see teardrop shots, they're going when you're trying to use the backboard with it as well. Just kind of a little off the kilter there.
A three is splashed down by Gage Riffle. He's up to 5 points in this first quarter, and a timeout called. Ray Tarnell wants to talk about it as his team is down 6 early. A 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here. But what a shot and what a start for Gage Riffle, who averages just under 9 points. He's already up to 5 in this first quarter.
Yeah, so we talk about who's going to be that guy to step up. So far, Gage Riffle's that guy for Triton. Who's it going to be for Marquette Catholic? They've got the 1 point. Who's going to step up and try to be the guy that makes the shots happen?
You see how Marquette Catholic has come out a little sluggish. Shots not going down early.
Well, maybe they're like Wisconsin basketball. They don't get into it until they're down about 10 or 15 points. Then all of a sudden it's like a surge.
That was how Nebraska's entire season just went. They got knocked out yesterday by Purdue. Mays steps into a shot after a nice screen, and he hits the left elbow shot. A good timeout for Marquette Catholic as the Blazers, after the timeout, hit their shot.
Yeah, draw up a nice set play, get something going for your team, get some momentum flying, see that ball go through the net.
Both teams moving the ball well into the lane, and Overmeyer fills it up. He got downhill, hard to stop, and he powers through the defense for the second time.
Seeing a little kind of a zone defense here a little bit. Guys are going to step up where they need to. They're on their guy, but they're also playing certain spots as well. That's the help defense kicking in right there. So you see Overmeyer playing kind of that center position, and he'll get to where he needs to, but stopping those passing lanes towards the basket.
What I've noticed a lot is that Marquette Catholic has gone to the pick and roll, and once that pick is set, they blitz the ball handler, so they can't find that rolling man. And so that Triton team has developed a good chemistry, good communication. Bad pass by Riffle. Bakota down the lane, and he can't get the shot to go, but he'll go to the line for 2.
That's it, going up with confidence. He said, I'm going to still go. Maybe want to slow down that momentum a little bit, try to get that bucket to go in, but he said, I'm going to go with this full force, puts it up, doesn't fall through, but he gets the foul call, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
This Triton team doesn't turn the ball over too often, just under 9 on the season. So when you get opportunities after a bad pass by Riffle, you convert on your free throws.
That's how you got to. Yeah, you got to make sure that you're capitalizing on the mistakes from the Trojans, and he does there, getting those 2 points.
Bakota now up to 3 points, all from the free throw line, as the foul was on Riffle. And almost a steal. Josiah Mays knocked it out of the hands of Landon Patrick, but it rolled out of bounds. We are packed in. This is the definite feel of a 1A regional championship game. I love it.
Yeah, it's nice to go to some of those stadiums that have like the big time atmosphere. I think forgot that the ref isn't on his team.
That's now back-to-back possessions where Triton has turned it over.
That's what if you're Marquette Catholic, got to capitalize on those mistakes. You're down 4. Can you cut it to a single possession?
Marquette Catholic has had a hard time getting past this Triton defense. Mays going to his left, mid-range jumper off the front iron. Ball rolling out, and it's saved. Good awareness by Overmeyer.
Let's say everybody was pointing as if it was just going to go out of bounds, and he said, that's not going out of bounds. I'm going to go save it.
Wood thought about taking a 3. He goes down the lane, and he fills up the cup. 6-point lead.
Brady Wood going fearless to the rim.
Good head fake. Get past the defenders. Nice leave. Rayo Clutt got to the block. The help came over. Bakota wide open on the left block.
So Bakota stepping up, averaging 7 points a game. He's got 5 right now.
Deep 3, and they gets nothing. I have to say, Bradner, I've been sort of surprised on how bad some of these offensive possessions have gone for Triton.
Well, and so You talked about kind of the maybe Marquette Catholic coming out a little sluggish to start. Both teams probably coming up a little bit amped. So if Triton comes out here, gets a good couple of buckets early on, they're feeling themselves a little bit, might feel a little too amped up. Maybe their shots go a little bit, and they're thinking they have all this momentum. Maybe they got to take a deep breath, and maybe a timeout might be warranted here if they can score here.
Pekoski's three, too long rebound. He ends up with it, and the foul will be pinned on Gage Riffle.
Yeah, a little bit. I was surprised it wasn't called just like a split second earlier. That's going to be the second foul on Riffle. So we talked about how he was picking up big time on the offensive end, but now he's picked up 2 fouls. It looked like a spot on the bench, but going for that rebound, yeah, he kind of took a shot right at the offensive player.
2:50 to go. Handoff. Mays left. Mays going up. Mays with a tough layup. Mays averaging 15 points. Had a big and one, the big pass to beat Couts, and he's got his team within 2. Really extending this Triton offense. Back into the corner, onto the short corner now. Double team there. Has to get it back out to the top with Swanson.
Yeah, they move the ball really well, but they're waiting for those traps to come, and Marquette Catholic doing a really good job.
And a steal. Pacoda looking up. Rail Clutt can't finish it. It's Pacoda. He can't clean it up. A third look. No. More offensive rebounds, and finally it's Pekoski that ties the game at 11.
When you stay with a play, good things happen. A volleyball match underneath the rim. But there's always that phrase, who wants it more? Right now, Marquette Catholic wants it more.
And it's last out on Triton.
And the senior Pekoski, sorry to cut you off. Pekoski, the senior, he is willing Marquette Catholic right now. He is your hype man. He is your leader on the floor right now.
Pekoski had 8 points against Couts, averaging under 13. Marquette Catholic has a chance to lead. Mays getting a double screen, and they will pin another foul on a Triton player. This time it's on Brady Wood. And that was the last foul to give. Next one puts Marquette Catholic in the bonus.
Yeah, so you talked about kind of that energy coming out. Triton looked really disciplined to start. Now all of a sudden things are starting to unravel. Probably not something that they're used to facing this kind of adversity early on in a game. So they're trying to figure these things out as the game goes on.
Pacoda in the post, and he only hit glass on his hook. Triton, some really tough possessions. They can't hold on to the ball right now. That's a good 3 or 4 consecutive possessions have gone empty for Triton.
Blazers with a chance to take the lead, and I have a feeling that the student section over there for the Blazers is going to go bananas.
May from downtown, and that long 3 struck iron. Triton.
But not a bad shot.
Wide open. And that's an easy layup. No one picked up Brady Wood. Under a minute to go in this first quarter.
That's when you talk about the ball movement. These guys have knowing where each other are.
Mays with another shot. And this hit the front of the iron.
And so when you get into situations like this, you don't want to rely on just the 3 ball. Got to go with the bread and butter. Got to get underneath the rim and get some layups. Or easy jump shots. Not that any jump shots are easy.
Under 30 seconds in the first quarter. Wood didn't like where he saw Patrick sitting on the ball. Rail Clutt moving up, trying to force Triton to move it. 15 seconds now. Triton holding on to that final shot. Overmeyer gets to the volleyball line, receives the pass, picked up his dribble, no turnover. Wood down the lane. Wood misses the point blank layup from the other side of the court. Nothing. Bit of a cat and mouse game in that first quarter, but Triton holding on to a narrow lead. They lead 13-11. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Headquartered in Griffith, Indiana, Absolute Power Systems has been delivering top-notch service since 2004, with a team of skilled technicians boasting extensive training on some of the biggest names in the business, like Cummins, Caterpillar, John Deere, Volvo, and more. They focus on providing exceptional industrial engine service and generator power system maintenance and repair. Check them out on the web at AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to this regional championship. We'd like to remind everyone that tonight's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely.
Andrew Mile with Michael Bradner. Corner three after the break, and it's buried by Julian Swanson. A 37% three-point shooter, and he extends the Triton lead back to 5. Mays going to his left. Mays looks a little tired. 4 points in the first quarter. Rail thought about it. Mays isolated, going down the baseline. He can't make the layup. Ball rolls out, and it's last off Nate Pacoda.
That's at games like this is where you pick up your intensity. So, yeah, you talk about that conditioning in the open. We're going to find out real quick who is the best conditioned team, because this is already a track meet early on.
Only one bench player in for Triton after Riffle got into foul trouble in the first quarter. That being Isaac Quintana. Going on a baseline cut and finding Brady Wood.
Brady Wood with 6 points already in this game, and it's been twice now underneath the basket on a cut, wide open. They're forgetting about him. Got to leave a guy on him.
7-0 run for Triton. We were tied at 11. Marquette Catholic had a few chances to take the lead. They couldn't convert on any of their looks. Rayo Klutt enters his name into the scoring column. Got the screen. Saw the defender sag off, and he hit the mid-range jumper. 5-point game. Marquette Catholic extending the Triton offense. Tough place for Swanson. Swanson eventually finding Julian Swanson, who hit a three. To Landon Patrick. Patrick into the corner. Here's another three-point ball, and it's slightly off the target.
Yeah, we've seen a few threes go down. Not too many. That's going to be offensive.
Offensive foul. Andrew Pleasant went with a head of steam, and Quintana took one to the chest.
The first foul for Marquette Catholic in this game. And yeah, the defender had his feet set. Maybe you are allowed to give back a little bit, step back a little bit, and he definitely dropped the shoulder a little bit and kind of pushed his way in.
So Quintana, who gets limited minutes this time of year, makes a big defensive play. A foul is called before the shot, so wave off the bucket.
How much longer do you think until we get continuation in high school?
With the way that's been moving down, usually starts in the pros, goes to college, and finds its way into the high school level. Foul is pinned on Josiah Mays. Brady Wood gets the inbounds pass, playing physical, jab step, attacking. Swanson hands it off to Julian Swanson. That's Jamison to Julian. Here's a three, right wing, and filled up. Brady Wood having himself a first half.
9 points for the sophomore.
An 8-point lead for the number 4 ranked Triton Trojans.
And Brady Wood averages just under 12 points a game. So he's getting to that mark.
Pacoda from the right corner, and he rattles one home to respond. 5-point game again. That was a huge shot.
Yeah, one that Marquette Catholic needed. They had a surge there in that first quarter. Found a little bit of a lull to start the quarter and the end of the first.
Wood, can he do it again? Yes, he can! It's a 3-point contest in this second quarter.
It's Brady's world. We're just living in it right now.
Pacoda hit the three for Marquette Catholic. He gets harmed. The shot won't go, but he'll set up at the charity stripe.
Yeah, Pacoda right now, we talked about who's going to be that next guy that, isn't scoring in double digits. Right now it's Pacoda. He's got 8 points, so his next basket, and he's going to the line right now to shoot 2 free throws.
He's already 3 for 4 at the line, making him 4 for 5 now.
So he's the guy kind of stepping up right now for the Blazers. Trying to keep them in this.
Yeah, Bakota had 14 points against Washington Township. That was a season high. He followed up against Couts with 15 points. That was back-to-back season highs for Bakota, so he's getting hot at the right time for this Marquette Catholic team. And right now, he's been their only source of offense in this second quarter. Went for the pick and roll, deflected. Mays slowing it down. Rail Klutt has just 2 points against Couts. Crossover down the lane, ball stripped away from him, and it was last off of a Triton player.
Yeah, I think the Blazers may have benefited. I think he may have just lost that. I don't know if I saw a hand get in there. But they'll take the advantage. That's why the Pope's in the house.
The Pope parked a little bit to our right. Find that wave of green. Mays, love iso ball for him. He gets into the lane, goes up, misses, gets his own miss, goes up. He gets harmed, and he'll go to the line for one. Count it.
His first bucket of the second quarter, and he'll go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play.
This game has been a game of runs thus far. As Triton went on an impressive run, and now Marquette Catholic responding with their own. They have a chance to make this a single-possession game again, and they will.
And these are, when you take these advantages, you get the and one, you got to capitalize. Mays does there.
4 minutes to go in the first half. Angel Mile with Michael Brandner on the Region Sports Network. Going with the left hand, shot up, shot good. Julian Swanson.
That was beautiful.
Extends the lead to 5. And Mays loses the ball. It's recovered by Bakota. Bakota's layup is off. And soaring for a rebound is Swanson. He is fouled.
And for Bakota, I think that'll be his first foul.
It was. They confirmed it. That's the third on the Blazers in this second quarter after they went foul-less in the first. Under 4 minutes. Triton attempting to build on their lead, and an offensive foul called down low. It's on number 10, Julian Swanson.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at both these student sections, by the way. They're having so much fun. They got a little Luck of the Irish going on to our right for the Marquette team. I don't know what's going on the Triton side. They got some guys wearing some bald caps that are, digging at each other. I don't know if they're, modeling their coach. I don't know what's going on, but it's entertaining for sure.
Bukowski with a tough shot. Rebound corralled in by Pleasant, and Pleasant with an incredible finish with the left hand.
His first points of the game, and he's just willing his way to get in a bucket. Keeping it a one-possession game.
Back and forth we go. This game has really opened up. And now Pleasant pokes the ball away, and he gets called for a foul. Patrick with a bad pass that led to a turnover, and then he took one to the chest to get the ball back for his team.
That's one of those really unfortunate calls. It's the right call by the letter of the law, but in this particular case here, he's literally trying to just recover the ball and make his way on a transition. It's the right call, but, oh, man, that's a tough one to take, and he's got to go take a seat.
Coach Ray Tarnow not happy as Riley Daly has come in. Mays had the ball, but they said no jump ball. He was tied up. Swanson got closed off by Mays. Brady Wood. Swanson, baseline, dropped it off, found a man. Wood, jump step, and his shot sails over. The opportunity to tie the game. Rail Klutt in the post to Daly, who just came in. Back to the top, Mays. He gets a screen. Rail Klutt, handoff. Defense there with them. 2.5 minutes to go. Rail Klutt, no-look pass, and Daly couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, that's one of those, when you have the same starting five that's in for most of the game, that's one of those situations that you're so in rhythm. So when one of those pieces is off just a little bit, and that's not any disrespect to Daly there. That's just there's a sync when you have the same five guys over and over again.
Wood brings in the pass, and a high arcing three goes down.
His third triple of the quarter.
Brady Wood is feeling himself in this first half. 6-point lead. Pacoda dribbling. Pacoda picking up the dribble. They reset with Pekoski. 15 points for Brady Wood in the first half. Rail Clutt gets a screen. Daly wide open, and he finishes at the rim. Great find.
That's why you pay no disrespect to Daly on the play. Yeah, not one of those guys that's normally in the rhythm of the starting five potentially, but right there, right in the flow. He's got good flow too.
Wood's cutting. Wood spinning around, and he can't get the roll. 4-point game with under 90 seconds to go in the first half. Rail Clutt running the pick and roll. He rises, he fires, and he sinks it. 2-point game.
Yeah, there is some momentum building on the Blazers' side. The Blazers playing with those 4 team fouls, by the way.
One more, and Triton is in the bonus.
Triton
Swanson,
at 3.
Spin move. Swanson, jab step, gets to the left block, and he kisses it off the glass.
Mays has got to do a better job of kind of getting in there and disrupting that on the help defense there. He kind of just let him blow by him.
Rail Clutt to Mays in the corner. The left corner, Rail Clutt to the top. Rail Clutt has made 2 nice plays in the last couple of possessions. No look pass, Mays in the corner. Man goes by him. Euro step, Mays misses the shot. Into Daly's arms, and Daly with a second chance look puts it into the cup.
Just a nice little soft touch. Doesn't need anything. Just a nice little here. I'm going to just dump that right in.
Daly coming into this game averaging 1 point. He has 4. 10 seconds. Looking like we'll have one more possession. Patrick. Overmeyer. Overmeyer against Daly. A stop. Gets a man in the air. Floater goes down. And the first half comes to a close with the Triton Trojans leading by 4. We'll have a Commissioner's Corner for you. Then we'll come back to North Judson St. Pierre High School. Me and Michael Brander will break down the first half, get you set for the second. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Hey everyone, welcome into the Commissioner's Corner. It's our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, always great to be with you, and some exciting events coming up across all high school sports here in the state of Indiana. But to start with Saturday's action from Muncie, Worthen Arena, the girls gymnastics state finals. Can you talk about what's coming up and what should be a fun event?
First of all, we're going with the Worthen Arena for gymnastics, and we've been there for several years. And it's an incredible facility and a great town to be able to host our girls gymnastics state championship. And we've had a little bit of a change to the tournament format this year, to where we're bringing more individuals instead of that aren't necessarily part of an advancing team to the state championship. So we're going to increase that experience for those. I think we'll have 22 additional girls competing this weekend at the state finals, and we're really excited about that. And it should be a really good match or meet, or we got Olympics coming up in the near future, and in the indoor side of it, and we're really excited about putting our spin on girls gymnastics in the state this weekend.
And of course, you know this well, Paul, and your entire team. To put on a successful state final, no matter what sport it is, you need the support of your staff, but you also need the support of all kinds of different IHSAA sponsors. And there's a couple that we want to shout out today.
American Dairy of Indiana has been a new sponsor for us, and we're really excited about what goes on with them. And certainly we're promoting the drink of milk. But if you go to our state championship events, we are now capping the state championship with the ceremonial bottle of milk, and we're able to drink that milk, and we're really proud to be able to do that with them. And winners drink milk is the saying, and And that certainly is on display at the end of the state championship. And another sponsor that we've been doing some work with, the Indiana State Police. The troopers have come to our state championships for years, and we're really trying to help them promote the recruitment of new troops. And being able to get some additional applications into their coffers to be able to bring new troopers on as they continue to try to replace troopers that are retiring, just like we work hard to replace officials also. And so we're working with the Indiana State Police and trying to really do that. And if you go to our state championship events, we just had our girls basketball at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and had a phenomenal showing of our troopers, even presented the colors.
Regional round of the boys basketball state tournament coming up this weekend as well. Of course, the semi-state draw on Sunday. And, Paul, this is really when you get down to the nitty-gritty. I mean, it's that time of year. I mean, teams are dwindling, and state finals coming up here at the end of the month.
Yeah, we have 64 of them left. And, we are excited to continue to advance that tournament. And Sunday, after we see who our winners are this weekend, single game regional, we're going to come here into the studio, and we're going to have our second draw show of the year where we actually draw the semi-state matchups and where they're going to be playing on the weekend coming up.
Miles McLaughlin, he's the state's all-time leading rusher in football. He just scored his 1,000th career point on the hardwood for Knox. That's an amazing story for Miles, but multiple sport athletes. For you, how, a lot of coaches talk about it too, of just how important it is to play multiple sports. What can you say about the Indiana athlete and what they do, like a guy like Miles, all-time leading rusher, now 1,000-point scorer?
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal. And we certainly, if you look at the professional athletes from Indiana and nationwide that are competing at obviously the professional level, most of those were two-sport athletes or three-sport athletes. They don't simply focus on a single opportunity. They broaden their skill by cross-training to multiple sports, and that's a great accomplishment for Miles. And Indiana athletes are just, we continue to raise the bar and the bigger stage that our kids are playing on. You can look around the country. We got kids doing great things on the basketball stage, the football stage. And we're really excited about, and that's a tribute to our schools and to our coaches that spend time with these kids.
Paul Neidig, he's the commissioner of the IHSAA. I'm Brendan King. Paul, have a great weekend. We'll talk again soon.
Very good, Brendan. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
You're watching coverage of the 2026 Indiana High School Basketball Tournament on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. The score here from North Judson St. Pierre High School, the Triton Trojans lead 33-29, but we have a scoreboard update, and as courtesy of your neighborhood Strachan Van Til Food Market. Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store, and it's East Chicago going up against Mishawaka Marion. One of 4 games that we're covering on the Region Sports Network today. East Chicago, the defending regional champions, up by 8. But here, Brandner, this game was really fun, especially in that second quarter. The game really opened up. And you mentioned to me that Triton only allows 38 points per game during the season. Marquette Catholic already up to 29 in the first half.
Right, that's something to keep an eye on because we were kind of wondering, okay, so yeah, Triton doesn't give up a whole lot of points, but we know that Marquette Catholic can score a lot of points and scoring 60-something points a game. They're almost halfway there. So the Trojans themselves average about 56 points a game. So that is exactly what Marquette Catholic averages about 54 points defensively. So a lot of give and take here. What's going to happen? Triton's definitely seeing some turnovers that they're not used to seeing. You had the turnover number for the Trojans that's kind of slipping away here a little bit. I'm not going to steal your numbers. You did all the hard work. You did all the research. I'm not going to steal your numbers from you. But at the same time, this is a Marquette Catholic team that has had some lulls throughout this game, but those surges have been pretty epic.
For Marquette Catholic and for Triton, I wanted to mention again that battle-tested is something that you look for teams, especially when the game is tight going into the last couple of minutes. Triton had cruised in their 3 games in sectionals, and as we talked about with Marquette Catholic, they had some close games in there. They were able to beat Counts by 2. So I got to wonder if the game continues to stay close going into the last few minutes of the contest. Does Marquette Catholic have an advantage over Triton?
Well, and this is why a lot of teams will beef up their regular season schedule for moments like this, to play their tough teams. And if you're Marquette Catholic, I mean, your losses right now, I mean, South Bend St. Joe's, I know they were, I believe, in the sectional championship. Maybe moved on to regionals. I didn't pay that close of attention. But Couts, right? I mean, Couts, we thought was going to be the team that was going to run through and potentially get down to state. Culver Academy, Michigan City twice. Michigan City, obviously, in the upper, the 4A class. So when you play a tougher schedule, and Triton may not have those same opportunities based on where Marquette Catholic is at. So their 3 losses. You got Northwood. You've got Couts, who was beating everybody up until sectionals, and then Bremen as well from 2A. So does Marquette Catholic have, as you were saying, do they have just a little bit more of that battle test and a little bit more of that tougher schedule? Because let's face it, in Indiana, the end of season record is not based on where you get placed in sectionals, where you get placed in this tournament. So if you end up having like a 19-7 record, a lot of teams are going to go, oh, well, they're not as good. They have 7 losses. Yeah, but those 7 losses are some really good teams. You can go 0-whatever here in the state of Indiana and technically go back and win a state championship. So, that's what we're going to see right now. They're down 4 points. These first 3 minutes of the second half are going to be really important.
I want to highlight Brady Wood
Yes.
in that first half. He scored 15 points. You had him for 3 trifectas. He came in averaging 11.7. He had those 15. And it felt like any time he hit a 3, it was at a really opportune time for Triton.
Well, and you got to remember, 4 of his 15 points were being left all alone right underneath the basket. So they were moving the ball well. He had a backdoor cut that the Blazers weren't able to keep an eye on him for. So we got 4 points easy that way. And then, opportune times to hit those threes and left pretty much wide open at that point. It was a little too late to get to him defensively. So if I see one change here for Marquette, I definitely want to, tighten things up a little bit defensively. But the nice thing for them, they're getting turnovers and capitalizing on those turnovers.
And for Marquette Catholic, their leading scorer was Nate Bakota, the heart and soul of this team, wearing the bright pink shoes, had 11 points. Again, he set season highs against Washington Township in the semifinals, and then 15 against Couts in the sectional championship game. But not only was he scoring, but he was also crashing the boards and allowing Marquette Catholic to get second or third chance looks, which, again, when you're facing a tough defense like Triton, you want to be able to get those looks.
Yeah, we talked about who was going to step up and be the next guy for the Blazers. Right now, it is the senior Nate Bakota, but right behind him is Mays with those 7 points. I want him to take a little bit more of a just more confidence going to the rim. He's kind of doing a little, he's doing the Euro steps, doing a little bit, trying to be a little too flashy sometimes.
We're set for the second half. Andrew Mile with Michael Bradner.
Let's go.
Let's crown a regional championship in game 1 of our doubleheader. And going around Mays is Julian Swanson, and a foul is called within the first 8 seconds of the third quarter.
So if you got your bingo cards out, that's
That's the second on Julian Swanson. Pleasant back in the game. He sat in the last few minutes while Daly scored 4 points. Mays line drive 3, and it's off the mark.
Brady Wood with the rebound. He's having himself a game, the young sophomore for the Trojans.
Sophomore with 15 points in the first half. They feed him the ball on the left wing. He goes to his right, picks up his dribble. Back cut, not there. They'll reset with Riffle. Riffle scored 5 points early, and now Riffle lost control of the ball, and it rolls into his bench.
And Riffle had to take some time on the bench just because of that foul trouble early in the game. So I wouldn't say jitters, but just a little bit of rust coming off.
There's a such thing as too fresh of legs, right? Especially in 1A when you're used to playing all 16 minutes. Ball tipped, and it goes to Mays, luckily for Marquette Catholic. Pleasant sitting on the ball, allowing the offense to reset. Hands off the rail, Klutt. Klutt with 4 points. Klutt, Bakota head fake. Spins in the paint. Bakota misses. Bakota offensive board. Bakota second look. That one won't go. And it's Riffle soaring through the air to tip it away from the Marquette Catholic big man.
Didn't come down with any points, but what a possession by Bakota there. Nice spin move to get to the basket. Couldn't finish. Fought for his own rebound. Wanted the heart and hustle. Just couldn't get it to fall.
4-point game. Third quarter. And it's Wood losing the ball after he got the defender to go by.
But what I love, he's hustling back on defense. He made a bad shot, but hustling back on defense to make something happen.
Bakota, head fake, jab step, didn't take the shot. Rail Klutt, pick and roll, open, and the shot's missed. Pleasant is there to clean it up. Bakota slow to get up, now it's a run down the floor. And a charge Marquette Catholic has some life as Rayo Klutt takes a bump from Jaden Overmeyer.
I tell you what, normally I would say if you were asking an official what the hardest thing to call in a basketball game is, they're going to say charge versus a block. So far, the ones that they've called have been pretty obvious.
Bakota hit the ground hard on the last possession, and now he's sitting at the very front of the bench with the trainer checking up on him. Rylan Daly, the sophomore, has had to come in for him, and he scored 4 points. 2-point game. Last time we were tied, it was 11-all. Here's a three. Pleasant. He didn't want the tie. Pleasant gets the board. Pleasant rises. He misses. No foul. Mays into the defense. He's hit. He'll go to the line with a chance to tie the game.
How often, if you're Pleasant, does the ball just underneath the basket just randomly fall into your hands? That's so rare to happen, but he's going to take it.
Mays had 7 points in the first half. Mays hits the first one. They interviewed Josiah Mays and some of the captains of this Marquette Catholic team. Mays only a junior. And he said there wasn't really a shock for them when they defeated Couts. They really believed in themselves, played together as a unit, and that's why they're playing here for a regional championship. Mays goes 2 for 2. We're tied at 33.
You know what? That belief, though, I have to believe a lot of that comes from Tarnow. He's telling his boys, you guys can do this, and that's good leadership.
The Cinderella teams you see in this time of year is from teams that believe in themselves. They're going up against the number 4 team in 1A in the Triton Trojans. They're trying to punch their ticket to a semi-state. Riffle, jab step, went for the step back, closed off. Short corner, Patrick, back to the top. Triton, not really dribbling this possession. Swanson, dribbled off his foot, recovered by Patrick. Patrick, back out. Swanson going to his left, straight away, 3. It's off. Good defensive stand by Marquette Catholic. They can take the lead right here. Bakota back in the game after taking a bump in this third quarter. Pick and roll. Bakota open, and he is fouled. Rayo Klutt's really been facilitating well for Marquette Catholic in this third quarter.
And that foul is going to be against, they got Brady Wood. That's going to be his third. So you got one of your hottest players from the first half that's going to be sitting out for a little while with his third foul.
Bakota at the line. And he gets the first one to go. Marquette Catholic leads by 1. They've trailed for most of this. They were able to pull even with Triton for a brief moment of time in the first quarter. Bakota goes 2 for 2.
As you mentioned, a 71% free throw shooter. Now has 12 points in this game. He averages 7. We asked who was the guy that's going to step up. Nate Bakota.
Now Triton needs someone to step up with their leading scorer hitting the bench in foul trouble in Brady Wood. Who's it going to be? Swanson closed off. Patrick back to the top with Jamison Swanson. This Marquette Catholic defense has been impenetrable. Trying to figure out how they can get through the Marquette Catholic wall and to the cup. They've hit some threes, but they don't want to settle.
Great defense there from Pleasant. Jumping to the pass, jumping to where he knows the defenders or where the offensive player is going to go. And I tell you what, Swanson is getting away with a lot of those, those chicken wing forearms.
And a missed shot. All of that for Overmeyer to be opened on the left block, and it was slightly off the mark.
He's definitely getting a little bit of that push, though. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
It hasn't been extended enough, I think, for the officials to call it, but it's definitely been there, and Coach Turner has definitely been yelling for it.
I will say the referees have done a good job of letting these two teams play. Only calling fouls when they feel it's necessary. No ticky-tack fouls. Mays, baseline. Mays misses a shot. Mays, rebound. Can't get the second chance to go. Third chance, and that time they will call a foul on one of the Triton defenders.
What effort by Mays. Mays just wanted it. He said, I want that bucket. I'm going to get it. I don't care if I got to go for the free throw line to get it. But man, oh man.
That's the third foul on Jaden Overmeyer. So now 2 Triton Trojans are in foul trouble. And with 3.5 minutes to go, Marquette Catholic is in the bonus.
When you start getting into these moments where you are really throwing the other team off their rhythm and off their game, they start doing things that they're not used to doing, and now you have to figure out. This is where Coach Groves has got to figure out, okay, what are we going to do differently here?
If Triton ends up losing this game, they'll look back on the offensive rebounding numbers. Way too many for Marquette Catholic to allow them to get to the line and get some of the Triton starters in foul trouble.
Yeah, I would say even more than like you said there, the fouls are what's, to me, the story.
Corner three. They needed that one. Offensive rebound tipped out. Swanson will set it back up. Julian to Jamison Swanson. Patrick, he's been quiet. Facilitator for this team, going to his left. Short corner. Rising up and scoring is Jaden Overmeyer. That was a huge possession for the Trojans.
He's done that a couple of times. Really good at kind of that reversal.
Using the rim to protect himself from
Correct.
the shot being rejected. Pick and roll. Good help by Triton. Good awareness by Rail Klutt, who found himself in the air. Rail Klutt, crossover into the corner. Mays. Bakota got a man past him, and he lost it, and it's last off of him.
One of those tough angles for the baseline official, so they're going to go to the other official who may have had a better look at it. That's where Coach Turner was like, hold on, wait a minute, how did you see that? That's one of those things that those the coaches are always going to complain about, like who had the better angle at that, because technically that should be the baseline official's call, but sometimes they get screened and they don't have the best look at it.
Triton with a chance to tie the game. Swanson against Pleasant. Swanson against Mays now. Two Swansons on the floor. It's Jamison on the right elbow. Got into the mid-range, closed off, picked up his dribble. And a steal! Rail Klutt in front, and he gets tripped up by Jamison Swanson. Rail Klutt will go to the line with Marquette Catholic in the bonus.
Now, I think officials might, now they're not going to have a discussion, but I do think that was inadvertent. I don't think there was any real intention there, but that's definitely a conversation that could have been had by the officials. And that might be what Coach Turner might be asking. Like, hey, do you guys, maybe. I don't think there was any intention. I think he was just trying to catch up to him and just caught his foot.
And Swanson had stumbled a little bit before that, so he was also trying to catch his footing. He wasn't really aware of where Rail Klutt's feet were.
Well, and sometimes, you're trying to think about, okay, I got to jut ahead because I have all this space open in front of me, but I also got to get the ball. And I have to turn my body away from that. So there's just weird angles sometimes. Is there going to be a timeout taken by Triton here? I think this is a good time to kind of call a timeout, gather your troops, and figure something out here after this free throw, and also ice Rail Klutt. Want to remind everyone that today's video stream is powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely. And this has been an absolutely phenomenal game to call with you, partner.
And Jason Groves calling the timeout, and we thought so. As we said, this Triton team, they're coming in red hot. They've won 12 in a row. Only 2 of those win by single digits. They blew out everyone in their sectional, and they're running into a Marquette Catholic team, although might be 19-7. They had the biggest upset in the state of Indiana this past weekend.
Striking Van Til hometown scoreboard update for you in the third quarter. East Chicago Central at 45-39 on Mishawaka Marion as Rail Klutt knocks down that second free throw.
It makes it a 4-point lead again for the Blazers. 2 minutes to go. Swanson and Mays hits the ground hard. Numbers right now, and Rail Klutt. That's almost, it feels like a intentional foul. Seeing that Mays is in a little bit of pain, as he does have that knee brace on his left leg. So he just jumped, hit the Triton player, and you have 3 more fouls to give.
Yeah, it's definitely, the Blazers have been well disciplined, and I'm not sure if
they're going to say Bakota put the body into Jaden Overmeyer.
It's not too often I just saw Overmeyer go with like the penguin slide on that one. That was impressive.
He had some good distance.
It's like a young Zach Zanelli out there working the production, doing a fine job as always.
It was a non-shooting foul.
But he finished
Swanson,
in style.
Mid-range jumper, and he gets nothing but net. Makes it a one-possession game again.
Only 4 points in this third quarter so far. They only scored 10 in that second quarter. Finding themselves down 2 with about 90 seconds left in this third quarter.
You tell both teams are starting to get tired. Hands on hips, deep breathing.
As we are at the point in the season, this is do or die time.
Pekoski, Mays, spin move, help there. He powers up. Mays misses. Bakota, rebound. Battle for the loose ball. He's on the ground. Mays, left block, goes up and under. They've brought the Windex, and they're cleaning the offensive glass in this contest.
Who wants it more? The Blazers do. That's who wins games.
Jamison Swanson down the lane. Picks it up. Back cut. Rising up and fouled is Overmeyer. It's on Bakota.
Jamison Swanson has had himself an interesting. So in the paint there, he stops and then uses that pivot foot to turn. But the one thing that Marquette Catholic can start looking at, he doesn't ever go towards the rim when he has that pivot foot down. He doesn't make a shot or a shot fake. You got to sometimes fake a shot to make a shot. He doesn't ever go to the rim. As soon as he stops his momentum, he turns to look for the pass. If you're in the paint, go for the bucket.
That's the third foul on Nate Bakota. He'll go to the bench. And Rylan Daly, who's already had some minutes in this regional championship game, is back in. 0 for 2. Jaden Overmeyer at the line. That's a tough break for Triton. They really needed those free throws. 45 seconds in the third quarter.
And I hate to call him out for this, but those weren't just misses. Those were short. Like, those hit the front iron.
He put no legs into them.
And he's a football player.
Mays sitting on the ball. Swanson getting close, starting the count. Mays dribbling, rail clut on the Blue Jay logo in the center of the hardwood. Picked up his dribble. Finally has to dish it off to Pekoski. Pekoski going to his right, under 20 seconds. Mays, Marquette Catholic rushing a bit. Crossover, it's a steal. Swanson got his hand on the ball. Numbers game, Triton, Overmeyer missed.
What a block by Pleasant, though.
3 seconds, corner, 3, Pekoski, missed. Ooh. And we'll go to the fourth quarter with Marquette Catholic up by 4, 8 minutes away from going to semi-state. We'll step aside as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crown Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the game. Crown Company's The Business Professionals. We'll have the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the game. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Wood back out there. 15 points, had to sit in that third quarter due to 3 fouls. And they're proud to be Union Play of the Game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Go to ironworkers395.com to start your future as a Union Iron Worker. Patrick went up for the shot, and Pekoski was able to rotate over, knock it away from him, and force Triton to inbound it from down low. Wood trying to spark some offense for Triton. He only scored 4 points in the third quarter. They're outscored 12-4, which allowed the Blazers to enter this quarter up by 4.
They scored 13 points in the opening quarter. They've only scored 14 points since.
A lot of turnovers. Wood for his 4-3. Got it! Brady Wood comes back with a big shot. 1-point game.
He had the 3 in the second quarter. He was scoreless in the third quarter.
2-man game. Mays goes up. Mays off the window for 2. 3-point lead for Marquette Catholic. Trying to extend their fairy tale season. That puts Mays to 15 points in this contest. Wood with 18 after his 3. Pick and roll. Rising up, mid-range, off the back iron. Mays knocks it into Rail Klutt's hands. 6.5 minutes to go. If Game 2 is anything like Game 1, it's going to be an exciting day on the Region Sports Network.
This is Hoosier hysteria at its finest.
Lakota back in the game as he got dinged up that third quarter, also got into foul trouble. Rail Klutt rising up, shot short. There was a numbers game, but he couldn't find Bakota down low. Triton with a chance to tie it. They led for most of the first half. The only time they didn't is when this game was tied at 11.
Well, they're down by 3. They're at a point in the game where there's still a lot of time left.
That's a tough shot and a rebound for Rail Klutt.
Not a bad move by Swanson going to the rim there on that one. But if you're going to get into the hands of somebody, you got to get into the hands of Brady Wood. He is the one with the hot hand right now for the Triton.
Mays is called for a travel. The Marquette Catholic fans not happy with the call, but Triton fans, we've heard numerous times, call for a travel from up here. They finally get one.
Yeah, there was a lot of smothering going on. The Blazers thought there was a foul in there, and there may have been. There's a foul just about everywhere you look.
That point of the game where it's just pandemonium. Anytime one team makes a great play, this gym erupts, whether they be wearing the royal blue or the navy blue. This is Hoosier hysteria at its finest in the fourth quarter. Tight game with a trip to semi-state on the line. Patrick went to pass it off, and it went off a Marquette Catholic leg. I believe that was off Pekoski. You got to watch out. Triton's inbounds plays have led to some buckets for them.
And they were all right on the baseline there, so looking for a turnover, and they've got it, well, almost got it here. Everybody's fighting and clawing
for the ball. Wood ends up with it. 3 for the tie. Yes! Landon Patrick, he's been quiet, but he steps up at a huge time for the Trojans.
And the Triton fan base is going wild, and this is where the Blazers are going to call the timeout.
It's a timeout for Ray Tarnow and Marquette Catholic. The 30-second will stay right here. A full will take a quick break. And it looks like it's a 30-second. Neither team have gone to their bench and will stay here. Brandon, this game has been incredibly exciting, and you kept saying it. Who was going to step up? And I don't think any of the Triton fans would have said Landon Patrick, but he was wide open. He took the shot. He had the confidence. He ties the game at 43.
Well, and it happens because you fight for those rebounds, right? You get in those positions where it's successful for you, and then you got to give it to a senior, right? That's always who everybody expects. As we have a dance battle going on. I don't know if our cameras are picking that up. The student section dance battle breaking out here. Loving that. But, yeah, I mean, give it to the senior, give it to Landon Patrick, let him step up his first points of the game, and what an important bucket. Ties the ball game. Brady Wood has been the one with the hot hand, so it leaves other people open if you start to double coverage him.
Coming out of the timeout, Marquette Catholic goes to Rail Klutt.
By the way, we were talking about Nate Bakota in that first half. Is the guy stepping up for the Blazers? Right now, it's Josiah Mays stepping up.
Mays the hero of the Couts game to get them here.
5 of 5 from the charity stripe, by the way.
Rail Klutt ran into a wall. That is Brady Wood with good recovery. They feed Mays. Mays isolated on the left wing. Goes back out. Swanson staying with them. No space between Mays and Swanson. Rail Klutt by the timeline. Going to his left. He goes to the block, and it's off Bakota's hand. It was deflected off a Triton defender, and off Bakota's hand, and that was an easy call for the referee.
Yeah, as soon as that happened, Bakota's like, I know that's mine, darn it, but just a little too strong on the pass, wasn't expecting it, or I think he was expecting it, just didn't expect it at that velocity coming at him.
Overmeyer, handoff, Mays steals it! One-on-one, Mays contact, Mays can't convert the layup, He'll go to the line for 2 to try and give Marquette Catholic the lead.
Overmeyer with the foul on the block. That'll be his 4th. That's a big one for the Trojans because he is a big factor in there. He's been playing right in the middle defensively and just was shuffling his feet trying to stop the momentum of Mays on that play.
Brandon, I will say one thing, that we always like to look at numbers to tell a story of a team's season. But this time of year, the numbers be darned.
Right.
Marquette Catholic well above the points allowed average for Triton. Triton has turned the ball over a good amount of times. And for Marquette Catholic, they'll usually only average around 8.2 offensive rebounds. They have well more than that.
The one thing the numbers did tell us that has been ringing true, it was going to be a good game.
Exactly. 2-point game. Mays goes 2 for 2. Another high-scoring output for the junior shooting guard.
And so that right now, if you're the Blazers, you want to make sure that Mays has the ball in his hands when they're on offense, because if he gets fouled, 7-7 from the charity stripe.
Swanson going to his bag. Baby hook. Rolls home for 2. 45 all with 3 minutes to go. Feels like a heavyweight fight.
But if that starts to happen, if Mays starts going to the stripe a little bit more, you got to start watching here. Triton, a few guys in foul trouble.
Mays staying patient. Swanson rushing him a bit now. 3 minutes. Mays crossover, getting downhill. Whips it to Bakota. Bakota takes a hit. And the Triton fans didn't like the call.
I was going to say, how is that not a foul? But
the Marquette Catholic student section letting Jamison Swanson know that he can't do that. A tick under 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. Tie game. Bakota block going to his left, and it bounces off the iron a few times, and Wood clears a defensive rebound. Swanson back cuts, and he finds Riffle. The Trojans are out in front again.
Riffle was the one who was making all the good work in that first quarter. Then all of a sudden it has expanded for the Trojans, and now Riffle making a little bit of noise here in the fourth quarter.
Riffle was scoreless since the first. He scores to give his team the lead. Full timeout. We'll take a break. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
You're watching coverage of the 2026 Indiana High School Basketball Tournament on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Michael Bradner joining me, Andrew Mild, as we have 2.5 minutes to go. 2-point game, Triton leads. Mays is fouled. No, correction, it's a travel. Mays went for a spin move, lost his footing, and they pin a turnover on him. Press coming for the Blazers.
Yeah, moving up the press here a little bit, making it a little bit more challenging. And that's going to be a foul, on Pekoski. I know his intent, I mean, it's going to look bad on the camera view, but he's really just trying to punch the ball out, trying to get the turnover, but getting his hand a little too far in there.
The Trojans trying to win their 13th game in a row and win a regional championship. It would be back-to-back regional titles for this Triton program. Patrick has the ball stolen away, and then a foul. So Landon Patrick turns the ball over, and then he fouls Nate Bakota.
That's what's going to get interesting for the Trojans here. A lot of these guys, I mean, that's only the second foul on Landon Patrick, but they've been pretty foul happy throughout this game. Is that are they going to be able to clean things up defensively?
Mays brings it up the floor. Cool as a cucumber. 2-point game.
Does Marquette Catholic have one more big surge in them to get them the lead back?
Pleasant behind the back. Pleasant into the corner. No shot for Bakota. Bakota wants to go baseline. Bakota, shot rejected. It was Swanson. And a foul on Pleasant. And Pleasant thought he had a jump ball.
I feel like that probably should have. I couldn't see exactly where Pleasant's hands were. But I feel like in that situation, that's usually a jump ball call. But that's the third foul on Pleasant.
2-point game. At 100 seconds left in regulation. Swanson bringing the ball up. Bakota loosely guarding him up the hardwood. And he falls over. Looked like he tripped over his own feet. Mays being aggressive against Swanson. Swanson to Swanson, double team. Swanson, no look pass. Wood can't bring in the pass. 3-on-2 for Marquette Catholic. Pekoski, a man in the air. 3 for the lead. It rolls in. Friendly rims. The Pope has fallen over. And Marquette Catholic leads by a narrow 1-point lead.
Even he couldn't believe that hit the rim and then the backboard. Looked like it was going to fall off the rim. Hit the backboard and fell through. Talk about a friendly roll. And oh my gosh. But you talk about the intensity. It has picked up big time. They are trying to prevent the fouls from taking place. And so the timeout here is a big one. Yeah, there's a $1:15 left. But this is where you got to tell your guys, hey, this is where we dig in. Be as clean as possible on the defensive end. Don't get fouls, but you got to be confident with the shot.
A few times now, Triton has turned the ball over at really inopportune times to allow Marquette Catholic to get down the floor and keep this game alive.
Now, I got lost in the shuffle. That was Pekoski that hit that three?
Pekoski hit the three. And right now, if this result stays the same, that would be your proud to be Union play of the game. But with a minute 15, 1-point game, I feel as though Bradner, we're going to have a lot of candidates for that award when we wrap up this broadcast and get ready for game 2. Back from the timeout. 1 timeout left for Marquette Catholic and for Jason Groves and his Triton team. They have 4 to remain.
There is nobody in the backcourt. They're doing the full court press here, trying to get somebody and make it hard to get across.
Swanson gets it across. Swanson not picked up. He gets to the cup, and he rolls it home. A miscommunication, and Triton up ahead by 1 now. We're going to see some lead changes, I think, Bradner.
Well, under a minute to go. How aggressive do you want to be? I mean, you got a minute left. Do you want to push the throttle, or do you want...
Bakota from the corner. Yes! A third lead change in the last 2 minutes. No timeout being used by Groves. He wants to run the offense here. It's a 2-point game. Swanson against Mays going to his right. He gets a screen. He finishes. We're tied at 51. Timeout, Triton.
It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. You talked about the lead changes. We've got the tie right now. This final 30 seconds is what Hoosier hysteria in the state of Indiana is all about. In any other state, in all the other 49 states, it's just a game. In here, it's life, and that is proof positive right here. This place getting loud, boisterous. It's getting crazy.
And this is why we do it.
Oh, 100%.
Packed gym. You can't even hear yourself think at this point in the game. And you got to remember, we still have a second game to go between the Westview Warriors and Gary 21st Century. So between games, you're going to have to change to another broadcast link. You can find that on our Facebook and on the IHSAA Champions Network.
Stay with us, though, because if the Blazers are able to hold on, we'll bring you the net cutting.
Yes, of course. Coming out of the timeout used by Jason Groves, 21 years with his Triton team, 368 wins, only 2 losing seasons, trying to will his team to a big win. Under 30 seconds, Marquette Catholic is going to have a chance to win it right here. Mays brings up the floor. He's across the timeline. 20 seconds.
This is going to be important here. He's going to hold for the last shot. Or the Blazers are, because they're down to 14 seconds.
Rayo Collette going to his right. 9 seconds. They got to
Who's
go
the
to
guy?
the set. Rayo Collette looks like he wants it. 5 seconds. He loses the ball. Triton up ahead. Layup. Good. And the Triton Trojans are regional champions. What a finish.
Referees walking off a regional championship for the Trojans.
Gage Riffle with a shot of his life as the bench spills onto the floor. Triton back-to-back regional champions.
So the Regional 26 championship belongs to the Triton Trojans. I was thinking it in my head, and it's going to sound redundant, but I was thinking in my head, you're holding for the last shot. I didn't want to say it because I don't want to do that proverbial announcer's jinx. You can't turn the ball over. And that's unfortunately what happened at the end there. When you call for something like that, you got 30 seconds left. Everybody felt, okay, 30 seconds, you gotta hold for the last shot. And if you miss it, it's a tie game. You go to overtime, no big deal.
It was Vaughn Rayclett, the junior, dribbling the ball. He lost it. Triton, kudos to them. They were able to get into their fast break offense, and Riffle caught it, laid it up. The clock ran down, buzzer sounded, and now the Triton fans are on the floor celebrating with their team. Triton Trojans now go to 23-3. They've won 13 games in a row, and they'll get to go to their second straight semi-state. We'll take a break here on the Region Sports Network. We'll come back, hand out some awards, then send you on your way before we bring you back to North Judson for Game 2 of our doubleheader. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step towards your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
We are back here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town at North Judson St. Pierre High School, as the Triton Trojans win their second straight regional championship, now doing the team picture in the middle of the floor. Brother, this was a game for the books.
Yeah, there's no question about it. One of the things that we had talked about was Triton going to be able to keep a lot of the prolific offense of Marquette Catholic off the board. They normally average about 64 points a game, held to 51 points. Normally, Triton keeps teams under 40 points. Obviously not the case today. But, man, just a crazy, fun game. That's why Hoosier Hysteria, there is nothing like it here in the state of Indiana. Just when you think you got this game figured out, the other team says no. And Marquette Catholic, what a run for them, obviously beating a team that nobody thought they would beat. We're in this game from the opening tip, and hats off to them. Unfortunate way to go out because you were in this game. You had the lead tied, and and
you had a chance to win it.
You had a chance to win it, and but just a heck of a game. Nothing to hang their hats on. Did the region proud for sure.
We have to hand out some awards, and then we will take a break before Game 2 starts. That's for approximately at 7 o'clock between Westview and Gary 21st Century. The first one, Crown Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crown Company's proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court. Brandner, who do we have?
I'm going to go with Nate Bakota on this one. Had 15 points to finish the night. He was the guy in that first half. We had asked from the very onset of this game who was going to be the guy that would step up and kind of be that next guy, right? There's guys that always average in double digits, the guys that kind of lead the way, guys like Mays and Pekoski that kind of lead the way normally. Who was going to be that next one that maybe got not as much coverage? And right now that was Nate Bakota. He stepped up 15 points, the 6-foot senior, doing a heck of a job here tonight.
Next up, the Blue Collar Player of the Game, proudly sponsored by Boilermakers Local 374. Learn about apprenticeship programs and more at local374.org. And, Brandon, we went with Josiah Mays on this one.
Yeah, the junior is going to be having another chance to come back and play for this Blazers team. Scored about unofficial numbers that I'm giving out here, but 17 points in this one today. But he really was the one, especially going, 7 for 7 from the charity stripe today. Not too shabby. So he was the one getting fouled, going to the line, shooting those free throws. So you figure 7 of those 51 points are all from the charity stripe. He knocked all of them down. But he just felt like the glue guy in that second half that was really kind of just making sure that everything was going the Blazers' way for as long as it possibly could, or keeping them in the game when they lost the lead. Just kind of felt like that glue guy, very blue-collar-ish to me tonight.
And finally, the proud to be Union Play of the Game that is sponsored by Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com. Zanelli, play that clip.
So we've got the replay for you here. This is going to be the big three-point shot from Pekoski. It's going to hit just about every part of the rim and then also off the backboard as well. A huge three-point shot with about $1:15 left to go around that time in the fourth quarter. That made it a 48-47 lead. But that three just kind of, it had that feeling of the Blazers are going to go on a run here. The Trojans said, we're going to stick with you on this one. So pretty epic battle here between the Blazers and the Trojans. And who knows, maybe this might be the regional championship game again next year.
Time to hand out some thank yous from our executive producer, Chris Ramirez, operations manager, Rich Castillo, coordinating producer, that's Zach Miller with 2 eyes, and the sports director himself, Mike DeWan. Special thanks go to Jason Groves from Triton and Ray Tarnow at Marquette Catholic. The athletic directors, Rodney Eunice here at Triton and Brad Collignon at Marquette Catholic, and Mike Sharkozy here at North Justin, the host site of the regional championship games. And of course, to our viewers on IHSAA Champions Network, regionsports.com, YouTube/Region Sports, Facebook/Region Sports Nation. For our camera operator, Martin Murillo Jr., our producer, Zach Stanelli, and my partner, Michael Bradner, I've been Andrew Mile. This has been Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oil Field and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
Mortaranos Roofing is a family-owned business established in 1986, celebrating over 40 years. We have completed over 5,600 roof replacements, repairs, and chimney projects, focused in Northwest Indiana and Southwest Michigan. Mortaranos Roofing has always put family, friends, and customers first in our mission to complete roofing projects with the greatest care and consideration as if it was our own. Give them a call today for a free estimate at 219-872-8246. Mortaranos Roofing. Protect your past, present, and future roofs for you and your loved ones and your legacy. This broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Machnick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals.